Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna show you how to sharpen a nail puller. Now this is also one of the tools you can get for basically free on a flea market. You can see this one doesn't look that great anymore, and it is also slightly bent, which I can't fix right now in my apartment. I don't have an anvil here, but we can still look at how these are sharpened. Now for tools, as with all the tools we are sharpening, I would recommend some kind of diamond stone. A handheld one is probably the best. Some bench stones can also be used, or maybe if you have a very good file, that can also work. Let's look at how we are going to sharpen these. They have a bevel on the top and also a bevel on the bottom. So a handheld stone will be basically the only option here. And also for these ones, they have a pretty large gap. Now this gap is there because one of the sides is bent. So I will not be completely reshaping this, as I will bend it back later when I can. But we will look at how you can fix slight misalignments here if you have some kind of niche in there because someone pulled something very hard. First of all, we need to reshape our blade. For this, we will be basically zeroing this out by using a very coarse handheld diamond stone and grinding it this way. If yours is still quite sharp in some spots, then I would advise you that you use a file so you don't unnecessarily wear your sharpening stone. If you get a very sharp edge, it can like rip out some of the diamonds. So just take a coarse file and make it blunt first, and then you can use the diamond stone to really take away material and grind out all of these defects in the blade here. And after a bit, our blade is basically restored. The diamond stones really make quick work of them. We have basically all of the defects removed, but as you can see, we have a very, very thick edge. Now these are not like a bolt cutter. These need quite sharp edges in order to, grab onto a nail properly, even if it's a bit harder. And so we will need to rework these bevels. Now, if you close yours and yours are not completely bent, this is the time where you need to work on the alignment. If you can see, they are only touching on one side. Let's just assume we have a gap here, and here it is closing properly. What you would need to do is just work on this side more until your alignment is good, and then start in grinding the bevel. That means you can go very even on the bevels, and then it will just make it easier to do the alignment now. Now, because our alignment is good here, I will just start grinding in the top bevel here. After a bit of time, you can see some progress. We are getting thinner on the blades here. Now you are going to sharpen these evenly on both sides. Do not finish one and then go on to the other, because that way we can do the alignment again. Most of our work is done by sharpening the top here and not the bottom. Just look at how little material here is to remove and how large this bevel down on the bottom is. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. Just dial in the basically alignment of both of the edges so they meet up perfectly by going back and forth on them. And then if necessary, sharpen them on the bottom a bit to bring them closer together. And after a bit of back and forth on the grinding, we are pretty much done. As you can see, we have quite a lot under a millimeter of blade thickness. You can see it very well in the reflection. And this is, as it should be. If we take a nail right here and we just give it a good squeeze, even with the misaligned blade, you can see we are making a pretty good dent in there. Maybe you could make it a little bit thinner. I'm just gonna do that after I did the realignment and tighten the rivets, so that, I can have still some room. But as you can see, it is fairly straightforward. If you pick one out on a flea market, maybe take one that is already not misaligned if you have the choice. But if, that's another little project for another day to get that fixed. But as it is, this is a completely usable tool, and you should get this again for basically free. That was it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. If you did, then consider subscribing and giving the video a like, and then I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.